we come to this text in Acts chapter 16, we find that Paul and his companions are on a missionary journey. They are fulfilling the call that God has placed upon their lives. They were going about the region sharing the good news of Jesus Christ. They were building faith communities everywhere they went. People heard the word of this Jesus who saves, who heals, and forgives, and they came to believe in his word. They were also baptized with this thing called the Holy Spirit. And when people received the Holy Spirit, their hearts, their lives, their families, and their towns began to change. And yes, they were transformed. What they used to do, they no longer did. The mean and nasty, conniving ways they once knew were no more once the Holy Spirit came upon them. The dim, bleak outlook on their lives and the lives of others was overshadowed by God's great light of hope and possibility. They began to share all that they had in common with others after the Holy Spirit came upon them. They were no longer hoarders for themselves, but instead they saw the good in giving what they had so all might experience abundance after the Holy Spirit came upon them. They began to realize that their lives were no longer their own, but that they were bought with a price. And that for anyone who wanted to see the receipts, they only needed to look at the cross at Calvary to see that Jesus had paid it all. Amen? Amen. Even for those who may not have bought the whole story, they saw that these men and women came with a different spirit, one that was not about self-promotion or arrogance or vengeance, but instead it was about kingdom building, about community cohesion, and a grace that would abound toward all, for all generations. They shared good news that did not place one against another. They did not preach classism. And they did not seek to create a separatist society. Instead, they shared how Jews and Greeks, men and women, male and female, could walk together and not grow weary. They demonstrated how they could truly draw strength from one another and living out this shared understanding of who God had called them to be and what God had called them to do. And when I read passages like this, I wonder if that's where the various protest movements draw its understanding of power in numbers and power in marching together under a unified understanding. I need you to walk closely with me here. You know those solidarity movements that we see shaping up and taking shape all around us, where people of different backgrounds share a common vision and descend upon the streets to demand change, a true show of force and a desire of will to change systems, laws, and rulers, even if they've been in place for a long, long time. Even if it may cause economic upheaval. Even if it'll make some people uncomfortable. You know, change and transformation is not easy. It's not magic. Doesn't happen overnight. And it's usually not comfortable for anyone. Amen? Amen. But there seems to be something about joining together that makes true change and possibilities come closer into view and into one's consciousness. It's what we see in the climate change protests by the school-aged children all over Europe. You do know that the school-aged children have been protesting about climate change. Yeah. Yes. Okay. All right. So 4 of you know this. Okay, so but because the children see that we are asleep at the wheel, not tending to our carbon footprint appropriately, that they decide we're going to walk out of school to draw attention to the fact that we want our leaders, our rulers, our parents, our churches, our faith communities to take seriously this issue of climate change. There's strength in numbers. Amen? Amen? Shared understanding, common vision. It's what we see in the Black Lives Matter movement that doesn't have centralized leadership but shares a common message. That black folk got some struggles. And we're tired of struggling. Do I need to go back to this one? But there's a common message. It's also what we see in the coming together of people of color, of queer and trans persons in the United Methodist Church. You knew I was going there. Coming together, demanding that those who have been at the margins be included in the future shape of the church so that it is remade into something that is not colonized, patriarchal, racist, sexist, classist, or homophobic. Because if you don't, you're just going to recreate the same madness and the same craziness, the same divisions. See, there's something about having a common understanding, a shared vision about what the future ought to be and can be. All right, I'll go back to the Bible. Paul and his companions were traveling throughout the region, sharing the good news and starting faith communities. They were together, sharing a common vision and doing their work collaboratively. They wanted all people to know Jesus. For them, all really meant all. And today, when we say all, we really don't mean all. But for them, all meant all. Oh, and guess what? They had a plan. They had a plan. See, Paul was pretty clear about who he was. He was once sold out for this Jesus whom he met on a dusty road one day on his way to Damascus. His identity was tangled up in the call that God had for his life. And once he committed to follow Jesus, he did so with such zeal and fervor that he told others, "Follow me as I follow Christ." He said that because there were those who would not believe in someone they could not see, and they would not believe in someone they could not touch. They really weren't going to believe in someone who had messed around and gotten themselves killed. Do we need to redo that? Oh, you just can't believe I said it like that. Okay. He knew there were those who would need to grow to trust the Word and the words of Jesus in their lives. He knew the only way many may ever know Jesus' power was if they saw it at work in Him and in those who were His companions. And beloved, the same may be true for you as a follower of Jesus. There are those who will not believe the Bible, but they will believe you. Because they know you. They trust you. They believe what they see in you. Even if they don't believe half of what comes out of your mouth, they believe all of what they see in you. Even if they do not believe half of what comes out of your mouth, they will believe all that they see in you. So, if you are indeed the only Bible anyone will ever see, if you are the only Jesus anyone would ever encounter, what is their impression of Jesus? way. Is your identity so closely related that folks are able to identify you as one of his followers? Better yet, would Jesus identify you as one of his own? Now, I realize that sometimes we get beside ourselves. This time last Sunday, I was sitting in the Minneapolis airport, going between the American Airlines counter and the Delta counter. I was beside myself. You ever been beside yourself? Yeah. So from time to time, we get beside ourselves. But how do we snap back to reality? How do we exercise forgiveness? How do we extend grace and show hospitality one to another? Or are we one of those people who carry every hurt and every pain with us everywhere we go so people will know how we've been wrong and how much we really want and need somebody else to pay for what happened to us? I'm just wondering. Paul and his companions were on a journey. They had a plan. Now I've been told if you want to make God laugh, make plans. I've also been told if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Amen? Heard a quote recently that said, a smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. See, some of us looking around for smooth sailing, for smooth waters. Well, that's not going to make you a good sailor. And while we ended at that same conference, I heard someone say that when you fight with a pig, you'll both get muddy, but he will enjoy it. Now that has nothing to do with the sermon. That's a freebie. Share that on Tuesday when you get back to work. Amen. Share that first thing Tuesday morning. Tell them you went to church on Sunday, you found out about the pig, whatever. Paul and his companions were on a journey. They had a plan. But the Holy Spirit would not allow them to go where they wanted to go. Paul and his posse wanted to go to Bithynia, but the Spirit of Jesus would not let them. They had purpose in their minds that they wanted to go to Asia Minor. They wanted to go to what's modern-day Turkey. And every time they set out to head that way, the Spirit would stop them and send them somewhere. And they would go right back to their plan of where they wanted to go. But when they opened themselves to the possibility of not going where they wanted to go, but allowed the Holy Spirit to direct them, they had to be still and know that God was truly God. And when they did so, a vision came of a man from Macedonia saying, come and help us. Stay with me now. See, if Paul and his companions had stuck with their plan, they would not have heard the cry of the man from Macedonia. If Paul had fought for his way, the way of the Lord would have been overlooked, missed, and trampled over. Now, could they have done some good work? Of course. But would they have been where God really wanted and needed them to be? See, we're sometimes into some good things, and some good things are happening along the way. And sometimes we believe, just because good things are happening, that we're on a good track. But I wonder if we're on the God track. Are we doing the God thing? So yeah, they could have gone on to Asia Minor. Probably would have started up a few churches, and some folk would have got saved, baptized with the Holy Spirit, and life would have gone on. What? Would they have heard the cry? Would they have seen the vision and lived into the vision that God had set for them? So you know you're on your way when you stop, listen, and truly hear and respond to what God is saying. Because when you stop and you listen and you hear and respond to the man of Macedonia, more than you listen to the folk who seem to know everything and want to know everything, and even more than you listen to yourself, you find yourself living in the midst of the vision that God has for you in your life, your ministry, your relationship, your health, your community, the world in which you've been called into. So we have to get a vision, not just for Grace United Methodist Church. We have to get a vision for our own lives. I mean, that compelling image, that inspirational and compelling image, because that's what gives you hope. That's what gives you energy at the dawning of every new day, to know that there is a greater call for me beyond today. Because most days, if all you had was today, you would stay in the bed. Or you'd go, some of us would go out to Eagle Park and just lay down. If we were being honest today, right? And if we had no greater sense of what our lives could be, we would just stay in the bed or we would just call it quits. But see, that man of Macedonia came in a vision that said, come and help us. And see, we have to live our lives in such a way, get ourselves in such a position that we can hear our marriages saying, come and help us. We have to get in a position where we can hear our children saying, come and help us. We have to get in a position where our schools are saying, come and help us. Our Christians are saying, come and help us. Even where our bodies are crying out, come and help us. We have to get a compelling and inspired picture of what that is. And once we have that, that will be like a magnetic pull on us. Come hell or high water, I'll get through today so that I can move closer to what that is. Because in that, I will find the healing and the hope and the guidance and the wherewithal to inhale and exhale one foot from the other and keep on keeping on. And you can take it into a part, but that's all. We have to get an image of what that looks like. And it has to be an image that goes beyond our own understanding of our own limitations. Because true vision can never be lived into just by you doing you. That's just a good idea. If it's about you doing you and you get that, that's just a good idea. And bravo. But a true vision comes from God and requires God working in you and through you, and yes, sometimes even in spite of you, to get there. Because see, Paul and his companions, they had an idea about where they wanted to go. Were those bad things? Were those bad ideas? No. But it wasn't the God idea. The God idea showed up in this vision. Showed up in this vision from the man of Macedonia saying, come and help us. So my work and your work to do is to get in the presence of God and listen for who and what is calling out to us, saying, come and help us. For some of you, it may be your children. Maybe your household. Maybe your marriage. Maybe your relationship that needs to be restored. It may be your health. It may be your economy. Maybe your job, your employment. What's calling out to you to come and help us? And will you see it? More than that, will you pursue it? I invite you to stand.